Hey everybody, this is Dr. Karma Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. I just want you guys to know that I won't be on tonight. I'll be back next year, so next Sunday. But I want you guys to prepare for the 2025. My mother has put out First to Thrive and 2025. I want you guys to prepare yourself for the new year. This has been, for some of you guys, this has been the hardest year you've ever been through in your life. For some of you guys, you have processed it. You've been with me for almost 5 years. Some of you have been with me 5 years. It'll be 6 years in 2025 that you guys have been with me, and you guys have done a phenomenal job on yourselves, on your lives. Some of you started off in hurt and pain. It was your first year of whatever without that narcissist, your first year, your first Christmas without the narcissist, the first birthday, the first Thanksgiving, the first everything. And now look at you. After all these years, look where you are at now. You can look at where you were at one point in time. You were in pain, felt like you couldn't breathe. You were struggling. You didn't know how you were going to make it. You didn't even know what you were going to do, how life was going to be without that narcissist. And look, we're going into 2025. And a lot of you, now you look back and you're thinking it's the best thing that ever happened, that they left or that you left. And that, by watching these videos, by watching my mother, Helen Sadler, your destiny helper, my sister Tasha with the T on NPD, watching my other sister, Tasha, is Telsha Edenberg, the T on NPD, Tasha Leland, Confessions of a Christian Girl. You guys were watching one of my big sisters and auntie, Cluster Be Free, Karen. You guys have been watching her videos. All these people, Dr. Les Carter, you've been watching Associate Direct. You guys have been watching Little Shaman. You guys have been watching all these people that have contributed to your healing. Dr. Romani, what's her name? Zung. Please forgive me. I did not mean to disrespect her, but the lawyer, Miss Zung. You guys have been watching these people. You have been investing in yourself. Listen, you don't get anything back if you don't invest in it. And you are the greatest investment in the world. You're the greatest investment. You have to invest in yourself in order to recover and heal. And yes, sometimes it's easy to get into something, and sometimes it becomes even more difficult. Not sometimes. It's easy to get into some stuff, but a lot of times it's very hard to get out of it, especially when you're dealing with a person that is we talk about that abnormal psychology. That is that individual that falls in abnormal psychology, and that is a person that has narcissistic personality disorder. Or some of you guys have met people that have just narcissistic traits, which is just almost as bad, but not as bad as, but it's still as bad as a person that has the full NPD diagnosis. A lot of you have been ashamed and embarrassed. A lot of you are watching these videos and you don't want anybody to know that you're watching the videos. A lot of you have been watching my videos and going and watching it in silent and private. And you're learning things about the people that you have been associated with and are currently in a situationship with. And I'm telling you now, what I want you to do in 2025 is I want you to start making, if you can't write it down because you know that they'll probably go look at your stuff, or if they look into your phone, I want you to start making a mental note. Even if you have to write a note and leave it with your friends, start making a mental note or start writing things down about your escape plan. What do I need to do this year? Set yourself some goals as to what you're going to do, whether it's monthly, quarterly goals, and then your final goal. What is your major goal? You're trying to get out of there. What do you need to do to set yourself up for the great escape? I guys want you guys to also be prepared because, I have my conference coming up in July of 2025. This time, I'm not going to do it at the end of the month like I normally do because we're going to be celebrating Telsha Edenberg is getting married. And so she's getting married on the day that I normally do my conference. So I will not be doing my conference on the last Saturday. I usually do it the last Saturday of July. I'm going to move it up one because that is her wedding and we're hoping to be there with her for her wedding. We're so happy for her. I'm so honored to be her sister. I'm so honored to have watched her through this process. And she has a phenomenal man that loves her, and we're so happy for her. She's a powerful woman, and just as funny and just as tall as she want to be. But listen, I want you guys to enjoy. You got New Year's coming up. Enjoy your family. If you don't have family, create new traditions. And if this is your first time away from that narcissist, create new traditions. Enjoy your peace and quiet. Turn on your TV, put it on like on a YouTube channel, or put it on like a fireplace, and just sit there, even if it's in the dark, and just watch that fireplace. You know, I love, for those of you that may not know, I love listening to Charles Schultz, the Peanuts holiday jazz. So I listen to like the Thanksgiving one, is like the Halloween Thanksgiving sound of the Peanuts, that jazz. I can't think of the composer. I'll think of it when I get off. But he has some very beautiful jazz. He's the one that does the music to the Peanuts. And then it's the Charlie Brown Christmas jazz music. You know, you can turn that on and listen to it, or watch it while it's playing, because it's like still photos, and listen to it. Get you some hot cocoa, get you some coffee if you like tea, get you a good book. If you do have a fireplace, get that fireplace going and enjoy your peace and quiet. For some of you guys, peace and quiet is very hard, because you know that the narcissist is tormented in your peace and quiet. And so the one thing that they used to always do is, when you have peace and quiet, they will purposely try to torment you in your peace and quiet. So now that you actually have peace and quiet, a lot of you are having panic attacks. A lot of you are having high anxiety. It's because of the fact that you're prepared that something is going to happen. This just has to be too good to be true. In my peace and quiet, something always happens. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm waiting for something to happen. It's because of the fact that they have, they have trained you that way. You know, that positive, negative reinforcement. So they have reinforced some things, you know, to make you understand that, not make you understand, but to train you to believe that in the peace and quiet, something is going to happen, because they were tormented. And so now you have your peace and quiet. When you start having those panic attacks, when you start having those anxieties, I want you to go look on, you can look on YouTube and go find yourself like some meditative music, you know, that, like I said, the fireplace. You know, I want you to do some grounding techniques. You go and listen to, you can go look it up on YouTube, some examples of grounding techniques to ground you. You know, touch something soft, touch something silky, you know, smell something, get you a fragrance, light candles. Look. Light you some candles, you know, light some candles, get you some fragrance going. I have a lot of smells in my house, some fragrances going, you know, but what it does is it redirect your attention and all 5 of your senses. Taste something sweet, eat a peppermint, you know, do your fragrances, touch something soft. Like I have this right here is a soft blanket. I like this soft blanket. So this is one of my soft blankets. And so touch a soft blanket, like those really soft blankets, put it up to your skin, touch a soft blanket, you know, walk, feel the ground, you know, sit down in the seat and feel the seat, you know, but use your 5 senses, and go look on YouTube to find out grounding techniques, grounding strategies to help ground you when you have those panic attacks. And remember, you have to think for a minute, you know, when I have those panic attacks, you know, what time of day is it? What am I doing? Is peace and quiet. I don't like peace and quiet. I get anxious in peace and quiet. Yeah, because of the fact that they always disrupted your peace and quiet, because that peace and quiet tormented them. So you flip it around and use it as your strength. That is their kryptonite. That is your strength, your peace. And when you start having inner peace, that torments them even more. So it doesn't matter what they say to you. It doesn't matter how much, like the comedian said, if they belift you, you know, if they got something to say about you, it doesn't matter. It gets to a point where it doesn't bother you. And when it gets to a point where it doesn't matter, because they are an adult person having a child tantrum. The only thing that they haven't done is throw themselves on the floor and start kicking their feet, which a lot of you guys have probably witnessed too. Veins in their forehead and in their neck when they get mad, you know, because they're so frustrated at the fact that you're not moved. It takes time and it takes practice. And so don't think it's supposed to happen all at one time. But I want you guys to enjoy your new year. I'm going to be back. I'm here to support you. And I want you to make sure that you're there to support me. Just be prepared. In 2025, I should have my coaching program up and going. I've got some other amazing ideas for a lot of you that are in the business world, that need some advice when it comes to leadership, when it comes to different things. I will be there, and I will be setting these classes up for you. But I do have a coaching program that is coming up. I know you guys have been waiting for it. It's just, I sometimes I do too much at one time. I have so many great ideas that I'm trying to do a lot at one time. But I want you guys to join me. We're coming back next year, and I definitely, we're going to have my conference online. It's going to be the Overcoming Narcissist Abuse 5th Annual Overcoming Narcissist Abuse Conference. And I have some dynamic speakers I'm going to introduce to you. And I thank you guys all the time for supporting me, because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be on social media whatsoever, because if many of you guys weren't following me, I wouldn't think that anything that I say have any interest to you. But what makes me stay is when I hear the comments like, I've been following you for this many years. I've never said anything, but it's because of your videos that helped me out. Or I've been following you for this many years, and your videos, sometimes I come back to listen to them just to encourage myself, because it was you that helped me get away, and I have stayed away. That just melts my heart, because that lets me know that, that labor of love, that it actually works. I remember a long time ago, when I first started, I remember talking to Angie Atkinson. You guys remember the late Angie Atkinson? Powerful young woman. I loved her. I loved talking to her. And I remember she gave me some advice on, when I first started doing a video. She knew that I did this as a profession, but I hadn't done videos. And so her and I had a conversation. And then after her and I had a conversation, I had like 67 followers. And I remember when I had more followers, she said, "I'm one of your greatest fans." And she loved listening to me. And I was so honored. I was like, wow. She says she loved listening to me. I wish I can find that message. If I could find that message, I would take a shot of it, because it was such an honor for someone that was doing it already to make a comment like that. And I remember I said something to her, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, you remember me?" I said, "Of course I do." But I remember right after talking to her and doing what she told me to do, my followers started picking up, and I had maybe like 67, I want to say maybe 67, 64, 67. And I remember someone sent me an email. I cannot to this day find that email. I'm going to look for that email. I'm going to find that email, because whoever that person is, I want to express my utmost gratitude, because that person said, "I know it seems like nobody is listening, but whatever you do, don't stop what you're doing. We're listening." That was so humbling, because I was kind of discouraged, because I was thinking nobody's really listening to anything that I say. And at the time, I didn't have I had the personality. I just didn't, when you're on social media, you're trying to find yourself. You're trying to find, am I supposed to be serious? Am I supposed to be funny? Until one of the Gen Zs over here, or millennials, was like, "Just be yourself. You're funny. I don't know why you're on there all serious. Be yourself." And so I started being myself, and then my followers picked up. But I only had maybe like 64 or 67. And I remember Angie saying, "I really don't follow people who have a low, following, but I'm going to follow you because you sound interesting, And right after that, and she gave me some advice. I did it. But I still remember that one email, and that one email said, "I know it doesn't seem like a lot of people are listening." She said, "But we're listening. Please don't stop what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing." And sometimes when you're talking to influencers need encouragement too, because we do this all the time. You wake them, like my mom said, you wake her up and from a sleep, she gonna preach, because that's just the gift that she has. But when you have that much information, you have a passion for what you do, you can tap me in my sleep and ask me a question about what I talk about and what I do, and I'll just start talking to you about it. I'm an encourager. I'm a coach. I'm a therapist, and one thing I am is an educator. I like facilitating. I like teaching people, about the trauma that they have been through. So you ask me questions, it just comes out of me. And I remember, I started picking up, and then I started getting different emails from people talking about, someone was in New York, someone was being held hostage, believe it or not, someone was being held hostage. And they were like, "The only thing that is helping me through my situation is listening to you. And he doesn't know that I'm listening, and I'm listening to you." And that person built up the strength to finally leave. Someone else was trying to unalive themselves, and the rope had broke. They were trying to unalive themselves with a rope, and the rope had broke. And it just so happened that they turned on YouTube. They were watching YouTube. They don't even watch my channel. And one of my videos popped up, and they said, "You were talking directly to me." Another one was trying to unalive themselves, had tried to take tried to ingest some things and said that they were sitting there and it didn't work, and my video popped up and they said I brought them encouragement. Another person had tried to unalive themselves by the wrist, the wrist. So I don't know how much I can say on here, but the wrist. And they said they were sitting there and nothing was happening. And they were frustrated because I can't even do that right. And a video popped up. They said, lady, I don't even follow you. I don't know who you are, but this night you were talking directly to me. Those are the things that will keep an influencer doing what they do when they have people like yourselves to give them feedback about how this is helping you and how it's helping change your life. There are people I ran into, Miss Detroit. See, I remember the name, Miss Detroit. That's her handle. I'm not gonna say her name, but Miss Detroit. Hey, I'm a normal person. I go grocery shopping like everybody else, and it just so happened that her and I ran into each other in a Walmart, and it just so happened I was admiring her braids because I was thinking to myself, I'm gonna get some braids, but I was admiring her braids, and she said, I've been following you for years, and it was such an honor to run into people, and I was just being my old, I think it was a Saturday or Monday, and ran into her. Thank God I ain't look a hot mess, but I look like my normal self, in my little jeans and sweatshirt, I think. But it was an honor because I had the honor to meet somebody that had been following me, and she recognized me and she recognized my work. And so that was such an honor to run into many of you. I've ran into other people running into Sally's, people come from behind the counter and give me a hug, or someone has walked up and started having a conversation with me, and it lets me know that you really get something out of it, and when I find out that you really get something out of it, it makes me more excited about researching and putting information out there to you guys. And so I just want to come on and talk a little bit. I want to say babble, but I ain't babbling. But I just want to come on and just talk to you guys just a few minutes and let you guys know I'll be back next year. So I'll be back next Sunday. Just take a break because, most of you guys should be preparing your house for the new year. Whatever way you bring your house in for the new year is whatever you're going to do for the rest of the year. And a lot of people, if you look at hoarders, hoarding is a manifestation of what is going on the inside. And the one thing you're trying to do this year in 2025, you're trying to come into this year and try to do this year different than any other year you've ever been in. And on the inside, you may have been tormented. On the inside, you may feel chaotic, confused, all over the place. And if you look at where you live at, if your environment shows that, if you're junky and your stuff is all over the place and you're disorganized, it's just a manifestation of what is going on the inside. And the way that you start fixing that is you fix what you see around you. What I encourage you to do, starting even tonight, what I encourage you to do is get your house in order. Get your closet in order. It's like my mother taught us, get your closet in order. Put your clothes, color coordinate, or just put them in order. Put your shoes in order. Clean, make your bed, make your bed, make it fragrant in your bedroom, dust, clean your bathroom, that's where you eliminate. And that's where when you shower or bathe, brush your teeth. That's where you're getting the stuff off of you, clean your environment, clean your mirrors, go down and clean your cupboards, down at the bottom, around your toilet. Make sure your toilet's clean. Vacuum and get a carpet cleaner, borrow or rent a carpet cleaner. Clean your carpet, clean your living room, clean your kitchen. So that when you come into the new year, you're coming into the new year with a clear atmosphere, a clean atmosphere, a clear mind, so that this is how you're going to start your year off and then maintain that. Because that's what you need when you're recovering from something as horrific as narcissist abuse. And those of you that are still in it, trying to figure out how to get out of it, I hope this year will be a paradigm shift. I hope this year, something that I say will shift your mind to make you finally make a decision. I'm done and I got to get out of it. For some of you guys, it's like that wicked web that they weave when they first practice to deceive and they got you caught up and all their tentacles like an octopus is wrapped around. But don't think there's no escape. Don't ever believe there's no way to escape it. And stop telling yourself, there's no way I can get out of it. There's no way, this is too much. I'm financially, he got me or she got me financially caught up. Sometimes you have to pick and choose your battles. Do you want to get away and keep your mind and your body? You are sick because of the fact that you're in the situation with them. So you're sick because you're in the situation with them. Go look at my video where I talked about the physiological manifestations of narcissist abuse, what happens to your body. And so some of you guys are sick and have gotten sicker because you are in the situationship with that narcissist. And once you get away from them, you're going to have to make up your mind, and you're going to have to swallow your pride. Who cares if you had a whole bunch of stuff? Do you want your health? Do you have kids? Your kids need you? Or do you want to slowly die from the inside out? That is not what you want to do. And some of you have to make up that mind. What am I? I'm willing to give up all this. I remember making a comment. I'm willing to live in a box to get away from this individual than to keep going through this torment. And thank God, now I'm a believer. I told you guys I'm a believer of Jesus Christ. One thing that I knew, like Tina Turner said, I'm leaving with my name. I gave his name back, honey. And I left with an education. I left with what I had, you know, the little things I collected. Most everything else he destroyed, you know, destroyed. So I left with whatever I had, got rid of everything that we had together and rebuilt. And now I have things that are even better than what I had before. I'm able to get my own home, got a new car, got new furniture. I got things that I never had. And I was with another person. So we had a dual income. And I'm doing better with a single income by myself than I was doing with that little monster, that little troll. You know, and some of you guys have to think that way. You'd be surprised at the gifting and talents that are inside of you, that you guys are so, you're fabulous, you're awesome, you're opulent. You know, you think big, and they always crush you to make you think little. There's nothing wrong with you being by yourself. Sometimes it's good to be by yourself. And some of you guys are already thinking about the next relationship. Stop thinking about the next relationship. That is not what you need to be worried about. What you need to be worried about the relationship with you. That is the most important. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful New Year's. Happy New Year's to each and every one of you guys, and you guys go be great.